Well, hello, I'm Dr. Julia Royston at BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the book Mrs. Moss Consulting, helping you get your message to the masses, to the word, and turn your words into wealth. Helping you, let me say that again, get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. And also for the Kingdom Ministries, building people so that people can build the kingdom. And so I have to confess, I'm out of town, as you can tell. I'm not home. And I recorded previously and I had network issues. And I told Brian, I said, I'm going to re record it again. And when I re recorded it, the old folks say God done changed it just a little bit. He tweaked it some. So here we go. I'm going to give you what he gave me. All right. So we've been talking about throughout the entire month, get in position. And what position do you need to be in? Like, where do you need to be? And so James 4 says, humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Humble yourself under the mighty hand of God in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. Let him do it. Let him continue to get you in position. And first off, it's a spirit of humility. Now, I know some people do humility where they never realize their full potential. Have you ever met somebody like that? They had all these gifts and talents and they were waiting on either confirmation from man or they said they were waiting on the Lord and God that gave them everything, but they you just need a go ahead from God and then go on out there. But they were saying, oh no, I'm humble. Oh no, I can't be in that position. And so you do God a disservice. That humility is required. You should humble yourself and you should remain in a humble position and ready to be used of God. But when he gives you the green light, it's time to, it's time to go for it and be all that he's called you to be. And you notice throughout scripture, many times people made excuses. He called Moses. He said, I can't speak. And if you send Aaron with me, then I'll do it. And then, Gideon said, oh, I'm no good. And he was hiding. And so, just all the time. And I understand that because sometimes you think, me, Lord, like for real, I'm actually, but then after so long, you either got to say yes and walk in it or no. And then when you're walking in it, the humility that I strive to have is, God, I need you. I need you to go before me. I need you to stand in me, be with me, lead me and guide me. I need you to start me. I need you to stop me. I need you to be a fence and a hedge like you were to Job all the way around. And so I like to be humble with people. There are some people who exalt themselves. But, when you're in a business and you're having to promote and market, it just is what it is. And I know some people, I don't want to do all that. So I don't want to make it all about me. Well, in business, it's different than in other situations. In business, you have to market, you have to promote. And people, they don't have that total discernment where they could just figure out what you do. You have to tell them. But it's in a way that attracts and draws people. And it's not in a negative sense. Because there is a false humility. There is a humility that when people meet you, they're like, and they do it with Brian and I all the time. There's something about you. I don't quite know what it is. And I know it's God and his favor and all of that. But, I just like your spirit. And that's where I give God all glory, because if it was left to me, or if I were walking in my own self, I don't know what I would do. I don't know how it would be. Now, being married to Brian Royston, you're not going to get puffed up. I'm going to promise you that, because it's not about that. It's about doing what God called you to do and moving forward in it. But then there's that false humility with a hook. That thing where you're saying you're humble, but you're running a whole agenda in the background. People like that. I've met people like that have ulterior motives. They got different motives for what they're striving to do. And so you have to be careful of that. So your discernment has to be on high. You know how you turn your stove on low and simmer, and then you turn it on when you get ready to boil. So your discernment need to be on high. Need to, as the kids say, need to be on fleek. I don't even think they said that in the anyway. It just need to be on high, so that you know the difference and you understand the difference. Is it confidence? Is it arrogance? Is it false humility? They're saying the words, but really down in their heart, they have a takeover spirit. They get ready to shut the whole thing down. You gonna look up and you thought you had a committee and you thought you had a nonprofit and they done took it over and you are nowhere to be found. And I've seen that too as well. So the position we need to be in is always one of humility. Lord, you be with me, you go for me, you tell me, you direct me, you lead me and guide me. And to run from false humility. And yeah, we have ideas, but they may not, there may not, uh, there may not be a reason and it may not be time. That's what I want to say. May not be time for those things to be implemented right there and right there. It may be a desire that you want to have. And if you wait on God and you ask Him for it, and it is His perfect will and divine will for you, it will happen. And some of your own little ways that you think, well, I can get next to them. I can hitch my, as I say all the time, hitch my little red wagon to them, and I can get there faster. But you don't know what it takes to do what they do. You don't know what it takes to be who they are. You don't know what it takes to stand in that spot. Because next, some of you need to just stand on your feet. You've been, you're in not only just humble in humility and I'm going to keep myself humble, but you stand on the ground. Now, you need to be standing on your feet. You're laying on the ground, but you need to be standing on your feet. So stand up, rise up. Let's walk in what God has called us to be. So you need to stand up and be ready, erect, to be able to move forward. So some of you laying down the position you're in, and that's not prostrate and on the ground for hearing a word or humbling yourself under the mighty hand of God. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your spirit is low on the ground. You just you're just laying straight out, and you need to stand on your feet so you can walk in what He called you to do. You can walk fully in your purpose, but you prefer to there's a TikTok that says the video, "Oh, I'm for the sheets and not the streets." Well, some of you been laying in the sheets too long. It's time for you to get your feet in the streets. And I'm not talking about the nightclubs and all of that. There's a walk, there's a life, there's a purpose, there's a point that God has for you. And you're laying down with the covers over your head, maybe in depression, maybe in laziness. I'm just gonna say it, maybe in laziness, and you need to stand up on your feet and get ready to go. Some of you are standing on your feet, but you need to prepare yourself. Study to show yourself. Yes, you got a humble spirit, but you haven't studied. You're trying to move out in a position that you're not prepared for. You haven't prepared because you don't want to go through the journey. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I have had people that are coached and people that have actually paid me money for coaching sessions. And after I finish, now this is what we're going to do. No, I don't want to do that. And they didn't even ask them for a refund or anything. They found out the requirements and they didn't want to do it. But some of you find out you want the position or you want the assignment or you want the money or you want the business or you see somebody else do something and you don't realize how much it takes, what it takes. It takes time, it takes study, it takes professional development, continue to be professionally developed and learning ever. Being a student, you might need a coach, you might need a mentor, you might need to take some classes. Preparing yourself to get in position. Have to be prepared for that. And even though you're prepared, even though you feel like you're ready, you still don't fully, you're fully not prepared until you actually do it. I was doing a presentation with one of the professors at U of L in the education department. And she said, bring your books and talk about your experience and talk about books or whatever. And I said, great. And I told them, I said, no offense to your professor, no offense to this program or this university, but you're only going to be learning about half of what you're actually going to face when you actually go into the classroom. And the professor yelled the loudest because she still taught a day job and was an adjunct professor. And she said, amen, you're exactly right. I said, so you need to do two. These are four people in the building you need to be with, and these are the other person that you need to hang out with the most. These are the things you need to do so that you can fill in and supplement the things that they didn't get you in college. Because there's a curriculum and there's a guidelines, but they can't tell you everything. So humble yourself, and God will lift you up and run from that false humility with a hook like God's way is moving too slow. And I've seen people do that. And it didn't work out for them. I promise you that. Because God's way is still the best way. And then stand on your feet. Here, I'm your servant. I'm ready. Yeah. To do on your command. You're calling me. I'm ready to walk in that. And then prepare yourself. Yeah, you can be called, but you still need to be prepared. You still need to learn. You still need to study. Study. And then lastly, what's in your hands? What's in your hands? Because some people, and it's not all, but some people haven't even taken a full inventory of what's in their hands to get themselves in a better position. Just because you don't have what somebody else has, if God is calling you to do something, if he wants to put you in position to do something, then he's given you a gift on the inside, a natural gift, and then he's giving you a gift to be able to learn. You're not mentally, even physically handicapped, but you cannot learn and you cannot. What are you qualified to do? Somebody told me about new certifications they had, and I was like, congratulations, oh, that's so awesome. Okay, what's next? Because I don't believe that you get resources, tools, information, as the old folks used to tell us, for naught, for nothing. That he is getting ready to increase you, elevate you, move you. There's something getting ready to happen. So ask God, pray to God and say, all right, you've given me this paper. Where do you want me to go? You've given me this training, whether you got it on YouTube or where you got it, or saw it on a webinar or whatever. Okay, what am I supposed to do with it? What am I supposed to do next? God has given us everything we need to be the best that he's designed for us to be and live the life that he died and rose again for us to have. So what's in your hands? Is that what's in your hands already helping you to get into a better position or not? Are you just going to ignore what he's already placed in your hands? Take inventory, take time, stop and think. I had no idea. Ooh, I just been moving. I just been working. I recently did that with, I was going to do like an advertisement and I did. I was like, well, let me just think about all the times I've been on television and thankful for envision-radio.com. I'm on every week, 2 shows. I started adding I had a page full because it was something I already had in my hands. Now, what if I had already been saying, oh, don't nobody want to? No, there have been opportunities that have come already. Some I didn't even ask for. And so God is getting me in position to do something else, maybe just to promote what I already have in my hand. I have no idea. But, if nothing else, when I see him, I want him to say, well done. Not well fixing to. Now, well, you thought about it. No, well done. My good and faithful servant. That's what I want him to hear him say. That's what I want. To stand before him one day. Because I got to stand, old folks used to say, stand my test and judgment, stand it for myself. There's nobody else that could stand it for me. I got to stand it for myself. So I've got to be in position to be able to give accountable for the deeds done in my body. I can't I can't worry about nobody else. And it's not going to be about nobody else. It's just going to be about what Julia did with Jesus Christ, what Julia did with the Holy Ghost down in her. What did Julia do with the opportunities that came her way? So that God can be glorified, the enemy can be terrified, and I can live my best life, which is coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on envision-radio.com. And then at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Spike Davis and Friends show. Tune in for Last Music and More. And then Tuesdays, the Book Business Boss show on envision-radio.com. All 1, 2, and 3 season are uploaded at bookbusinessbosspodcast.com. Thank you very much. Already 750 downloads. Woo-hoo! We're running toward 1,000. And so thank you so much for that. Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time live, we're talking about the book business. And so tune in 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Julia Royston's books. Look for me at Spirit-Filled Christian Bookstore in Birmingham, Alabama. Next Chapter Bookstore, Gift Shop inside Ben's Boys, great food, located at 2711 Greenview Avenue, Greensboro, North Carolina. A beautiful bookstore too as well. Brew and Sip, coffee bar at 2860 Packer Lane Way in Louisville. Janami Books, 636 South 18th Street in Louisville. And then the Book Nerd Fam. Now, coming up this week, I'll be in Louisville at the AKA annual Horton Scholarship Luncheon at the Kentucky International Convention Center on May 3rd. And then the next week, I'll be an attending author at Tropicon Book Expo and Writing Convention in Branson, Missouri. That's May 8th through the 10th. And then on May 17th, I'll be at a children's book fair in Roosevelt Elementary in Dayton, Ohio. Ooh, we are on the move in May. And if you have written a book and you're like, I need to know about next steps, what it takes to get my book published, let's have a conversation at talkwithroyston.com. That's talkwithroyston.com. That's my calendar. All my other online stores, all my other websites. I'm on all social media platforms. Look for me, Julia A. Royston. And for everything else, visit juliaakroyston.com. That's Julia, another A, K, ROYSTON.com. I pray today, tomorrow, and always that you live your best life by getting in position and being prepared for what God is calling you to do next. Be blessed until next time.